Hi, I'm the Moorlander, and this is Moorlander EDC. Now, I must admit, the Moorland gods are not looking down on me favourably today. If you'd like to watch 7 minutes of me in the middle of the woods swearing at a bunch of flies, realising that I've had enough, then let's hear it in the comments below and I'll release 7 minutes of me realising that maybe I should have come home and filmed today. So I'm home today and we are here to look at the Woodland worker's jacket from Frahm. Now you will have recognised this before, mainly because I tend to find in certain pieces of content I'll be going, no, you know, we're here today to look at this watch, and I get a lot of people going, that's a really nice watch, hey, what's that jacket that you're wearing? So I received this jacket around Christmas time. I think it was before Christmas time, which gave me a while to test it out. So if you're after the full detailed review, then check the link here. I think it's this side. I always get confused which side it goes on, but if you look at that link, then you'll be able to see a lot more in depth about this. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to do something where I came back to this just to give you an idea of how it's fared over the last 7 or 8 months since Christmas. One of the things that I certainly spoke to Frahm about is they have their ordering system. So they're just quickly before I actually get into the jacket themselves, itself. So Frahm are a small company here in the UK. Everything is made here in the UK. All of the parts, apart from a few, the press studs on here, these are Italian made stainless steel press studs, but everything else from the British Millerin waxed cotton to the cotton liner, everything on here, the staghorn buttons, it's all sourced from here inside the UK, or, you know, as I say, you know, these are made in Italy. However, there is going to be a new batch this year that changes the poppers to a UK company, which is the one that the armed forces use for all of their gear. But anyway, so they're a small UK based company, and they want to think more about how they make their items so that they can put more into those. So everything they do is a small batch, and instead of making everything kind of trying to guesstimate on who's going to want to buy each item, instead everybody puts an order in first so that they know exactly how many jackets they're going to need, how many of this, that and the other they're going to need, so that they can make those and they can ship those out directly. Now what they do is they also add an extra, say, 10% onto each of the most popular lines, so that if you wanted to now, you could go and order one, and if there's one left in your size, that will be from the previous batch, and hopefully you'll be able to pick one of those up. If not, then you'll be able to put in a pre-order for the next batch. Which mainly because when I did this at Christmas, the previous batch had pretty much just been finished. So I thought it was perfect for the best timing now, so that if you were thinking of getting one of these, now is the time for the next batch. But as I mentioned, so this is the Woodland worker's jacket. There is a lighter version of this, but this one's a little bit more heavyweight. It is made by British Millerin. If you don't know British Millerin, they are they're the cream of the crop when it comes to waxed canvases, cottons and different materials. They've been making their fabrics from Rochdale here in England since the late 1800s, and really have been pioneering different methods of being able to get things waxed. The wax material that is used in this is a really nice heavy cotton, but rather than the traditional style wax where, you know, you've got to rub it on, so this is infused into the cotton, which means that if you did get this dirty for some reason and you wanted to wash this, you could wash this in your washing machine as you would do with other garments, and it would come out and it won't have removed that wax on there. So you can wash it 2 or 3 times before you'll need to apply anything back onto this, which certainly makes it a good fabric for that. On the inside you have this really nice red and blue tartan on the inside. From the front you have 4 pockets, 2 on each chest, And then I suppose there's actually 6 if you see it that way on the front. You've got these old-fashioned shooter style pockets. Yeah, I know I mentioned in that first video, it really does remind me of my granddad at the farm. It comes with an extra button, but these buttons are on fast. You're really not going to have to worry about these buttons. But yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have additional pockets that come in through the back there as well. The pockets on here are really nice, large pockets. I certainly don't have any issues getting my hands into them. And then on the inside, you have one on each side. On this side, it gives you a little bit of information about Frahm and how to look after your jacket. Whereas on this side, because this is British millering, you get your stamp of, I was going to say stamp of approval then, but no, what do you call this? It's their kind of genuine, similar to Harris tweed, where it has that label in there to show you that it's authentic. Authentic is the word that I was thinking of. But yes, you get your authentication on the inside. Really nice lined sleeves, and then when they come down you get more of those accents for that red and blue tartan there at the end. All of the buttons, so on the front you get 1, 2, 3, 4, so there's 6 buttons on the front. You can do it up at the top. Pretty generous with the amount of space that you get in here. I got a large, which is, you know, it's perfect for me. And then on the sleeves, both of the sleeves are pretty clear, apart from on this side. On the right sleeve you get a small, very subtle badge on there that says that it's from Frahm. Absolutely amazing jacket. Now I've worn this now since Christmas. Through lots of different occasions. You know, I've been out with work where it's been a little bit more kind of civilized. I've been out with my friends drinking where it certainly was not civilized. I've worn this to parties. I've worn this just out around town. Through the summer, it's reasonably warm. As you know, it's a cotton, quite heavy fabric, and then it's lined. It's not quilted. It's certainly not padded or anything like that, so it does help to keep in a little bit of heat. But if you wanted to stay warm whilst you're out, while I was filming out in the winter, I had a couple of layers as far as shirts underneath as well, but you can put a fleece or something underneath this as well if you wanted to keep that heat in. I've worn this with jumpers underneath as well. But it's done really well. It has done really well. I mentioned in that first one, you know, I was out in the rain. I got caught in the rain. I also had a drink spilled down me, which just brushed off. Since then, I have been caught out in the rain a few more times. But a very strange winter, summer this year. It's been incredibly hot, but then randomly 2 days later we're in the middle of a monsoon. And it's done really, really well for this. The water, it's a waxed cotton. The water just beads and runs straight off it. Now I definitely have to say there's a lot of British pride put into this, and you definitely feel it when it's got on. It's possibly one of the nicest garments that I own, and really the main reason that I wanted to come back 6, 7, 8 months later just to show you exactly how it is. All of the stitching is all immaculate, especially over the shoulders, which are that kind of not a stretch kind of area where really you want to make sure that reinforcement across the shoulders is there, and it's, you know, it's still perfect. I've done lots of walking with this with backpacks on. Again, no wear whatsoever, even when I've been out with my GR1, which is notorious for wear on the material that it's got underneath. You know, it's absolutely weathered all of that. All of the corner stitching on the pockets, exactly the same. I did think at one point that one of the buttons was coming loose, but it wasn't. You find with some of the buttons, they certainly don't come loose, but what you'll find is, because the material when you first get it is brand new off the spool, I don't know what you call it when you go into a haberdashery, it's all there. So the material's a little bit tough, but what you'll find is after a few months that it will just start to give a little bit as you're wearing. Find that you get a little bit of creasing in the inside of your armpits, which again, it just gives it its own character and just feels really nice. there are stitches, pleats, what side is it now, into those, so it does give you a little bit of bend in there as well. But I think really the one thing to mention with this is, certainly whilst I've been out, this is possibly one of the jackets that I've been asked the most about when I've made content like this on, I don't know what's in my pocket, nothing, that was a really bad example. Yes, there is a lens cap, so hey, we're here to talk about this lens cap today, and you've gone, wow, nice lens cap, but what's that jacket that you're wearing? Yeah, lens caps. Anyway, it's possibly one of the ones that when I wear this I get asked about the most. So if you'd like to see more from Frahm, I will leave all of the links in the description below, so that you can see exactly who they are, how they work. As I mentioned, so they have they're a small batch company, so I think here in EDC we all understand how those small batches certainly make it just more kind of individual to you, because you know what batch it's come from and when you got it, whether that's knives, whether that's wallets, whether that's, I don't know, backpacks that come from small batches as well. So you'll be able to see on their website how you can order one of these, or if there are any from the previous batch still left in stock, you can be able to pick one of those up as well, and they'll have one of those out to you as soon as they can. If you have any questions whatsoever, definitely get in touch with them through the website, or what's often easier is get onto YouTube, get onto Facebook or Instagram. They're really good at getting back to you so that you can ask any questions about any of the other jackets that they have as well, and they'll get back to you really quickly. I think it's very important for me to state at this point, I really want to thank Frahm for sending this to me. It genuinely is one of the nicest garments that I own, and it has that heirloom factor. I know a lot of people nowadays, they talk about that heirloom factor, you know, whether it's your GR1 heritage, that sort of stuff. It is something that you can pass on to future generations, and this jacket really does feel like one of those heirloom style jackets. So 6 months late, actually I think it was just before Christmas. Let's say 9 months later. How does it stand up? It stands up amazingly, and it just shows the talent here in the UK that a small company like Frahm can make jackets that are right up there from around the world. So definitely check them out. Again, I'll leave all of the descriptions here. I'll leave some of my social media links here as well. And for now, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay EDC. What is it with flies and ears? Why do they always go for ears? Just bugger off. God, I've even showered. Maybe it's because I've showered. Does it smell nice? Stupid flies. Sat at home thinking, let's go outside. Let's go out into the beautiful countryside, into my woods, do a bit of filming, be beautiful. Forget about those stupid flies. Always the ears though.